Hi there, this is Gary from the Seer's Cave, and I'm just doing this video response for Glammiewitch, because I saw your video, Glammiewitch, where you were saying that you really wanted to get into using crystals in your magical work, but you weren't quite sure kind of how to do it. So what I thought I'd do is, just try to give you some sort of hints and tips and ideas of things that you might want to sort of do that where you can basically incorporate crystals into your spell working and into your energetic work. So what I've done is I've got together a selection of my own crystals, and I'm going to kind of talk you through some of the kind of qualities that each have, because there's many ways that you can do this really. First thing you can do is you can look up the specific intentions and qualities and characteristics of crystals that suit the particular need that you have. So, if you're looking for healing stones, you can kind of look that up. If you're looking for stones for amplifying intentions, you can look those up. If you're looking for stones to, for grounding, again, you can look those up. And I mean, the internet is a wonderful sort of place for that kind of thing. The other thing, which I'll just grab quickly, that's worth getting hold of, if you don't have it already, or you can just get round behind me to it, is something like this, which is the Crystal Bible. And this is the old edition actually. This is by Judy Hall, and it has got an absolute ton of information about various crystals, their properties, what they look like. It's an absolutely fantastic book. It's out in a new edition now, I think. I don't know how many times it's been printed, but it's definitely worth getting hold of. So that's, just remember that. Crystal Bible by Judy Hall. Have a look that up. That up on Amazon, and that will be really useful as well, because the information in there is absolutely spot on. But you can also get a lot of information on the internet. And what I did was I just did a quick Google search, and I'm just going to bring this up because there's a lot of crystals to get through. Believe me, there's a lot of them. So I've just kind of brought up a few bits and pieces that I'll go through with you, just to sort of give you some little idea of what each crystal kind of does and what you can use it for. And then at the end, once I've kind of gone through all that, I'll have a look at different ways in which you can use the crystal, the crystals that I've talked about. So the first one that I'm going to go to, and forgive me sort of looking over to the side here, but like I say, I've got it all written down. It's an awful lot quicker and easier than trying to remember them all. The first one is agate, A-G-A-T-E, and the agate is one of those crystals. It comes in lots of different forms. You've got blue agate, you've got the lace agate, which is I've actually got a blue lace agate here, which is going to be fun, but bear with me on this. There we go. That's the blue lace agate, which, try and get it close enough where you can see. It's got these little bands of sort of white going through it. If I hold it that way, the bands of white are going horizontally as I hold that. You also get agate in this form. This is a kind of banded agate, and you can really see how you've got these sort of stripes. The stripes are an absolute giveaway for agate as a crystal. Now, just referring back to my little listing again, the blue lace agate is a calming crystal. It really chills you out. The colour, I find, is a little bit of a hint, and you find this a lot. I don't know whether you're into colour therapy at all, and the correspondences of colours to intentions. That's something else. If you're into candle magic, which is another thing that I love doing, that's something else that's worth looking up. Is looking at what specific colours do. For example, green is a healing colour. Orange is a colour that energizes. Red is a passion colour. Pink is a colour for sort of romantic love and friendship. Blues tend to be calming colours. Blacks and kind of metallic colours, metallic greys, tend to be grounding colours. So it's worth looking that up as to the specific colours, because it does translate across to crystals as well. With blue lace agate, you've got a calming crystal. You've got a crystal that reduces your stress level, chills you out. Look at the colour of it. It's a really light blue with white stripes running through it. So it's really worth checking that out. Banded agate, you get in all manner of different colours, and it has these sandwich kind of layers. And green, obviously, is one colour you get that in, and it's a healer. It's a physical healing stone. It's good for physical strength and for courage as well. Now, moving on to the next one, this is one of my all-time... Oh, actually, no, I'm going to do them the other way around. One of my all-time favourite stones is coming up. But this, which I'll just show you quickly here, this is another one that has bands in it. Can you see that? And this is called Amazonite. Now, Amazonite, and again, I'm looking this, I've got this on the screen here. It's an upliftment stone. It encourages hope and faith. It's a good stone for handling daily stress. You notice it's another very light banded stone. So in some respects, it's kind of similar to the blue lace agate in the sense that it's a good stress reliever. But it's also green. Now, because of that, it has a connection to the heart chakra. And it's a calming heart chakra stone. So it's worth bearing in mind for that reason. Now, coming up, as I say, is probably my absolute go-to stone. I have it everywhere. I have discs of it. I have little rough chunks of it. I've got a great big geode of it, and it is this. And I probably don't need to tell you what that is, although you can't see it terribly on the camera there. That is amethyst, and it's this amazing purple colour. There we go. It's a fabulous, fabulous stone, is amethyst. It's an intuition stone. It's a psychic ability stone. It's a stone for clarity and for insight. It's a great meditation stone. It's another one that eases mental stress, and it's another one that has sort of white running through it. That's another sort of theme that you tend to get. It's also a fantastic stone for nightmares or relieving nightmares. It's a good stone for sleep, for dreams, and for remembering your dreams as well. And it also happens to be the birthstone for February. So amethyst is one of those real sort of go-to stones if you're looking for anything to do with psychic abilities or intuition. It's fantastic for that. One of my all-time favourites. Now, shifting down the list a bit, what we have next, you're going to think, hang on a minute, you held that one up a moment ago. But it's this. Now, this is aquamarine. And this has a really beautiful green colour as well. You can see in the light there, it's quite sort of translucent and sort of see-through. And the difference between aquamarine and amazonite is that when you get them close up, what you've got with amazonite is you've got bands of colour, whereas with the aquamarine, what you've got is more kind of cloudy swirls. Can you see that? They are slightly different. This is slightly more green. Now, aquamarine, I'll just bring up a little thing for you, is a stone of protection whilst travelling over water. So, for example, if you were doing a spell for, say you're going on holiday, or you know somebody who's going on holiday and they've got to travel over water, that's a perfect stone for a charm for protection for that particular purpose. It's another one that calms the nerves. It's green, again, heart chakra. It calms the nerves, soothes tension. It's a stone of emotional balance, again because of the colour. It has that emotional balance. It's a good and peaceful meditation stone as well, and it's good for reducing fear. And if you think about when you're travelling, especially if you're going over water, especially if you haven't done that before, it can be quite fearful. I remember the first time I flew, for example, and you can be a bit kind of afraid. So it's quite a good one for that. Okay. Now the next one, I'm going to show you rather a fancy version of. But this that we have here, it's another green stone. So we've got a lot of green stones at the beginning. This here is green aventurine. And what I've got here is called a Merkaba star, which was sent to me by a wonderful friend of mine. And I love this to bits. It's really pointy, so it does dig in your fingers a bit, but it is beautiful, and it's got these little bands of colour through it. Now, the thing with green aventurine is that it can actually come in a lot of different colours, and I'm just reaching forward because I've got this set up on my little table. This here, this very dark stone, is also green aventurine. Now take a look at the difference in colour between those two. Now green aventurine is a stone that is directly connected to the heart chakra. It's one of two that you see connected to the heart chakra. The other one being the classic rose quartz. But green aventurine is the kind of masculine heart chakra energy, whereas rose quartz is the sort of feminine heart chakra energy. And I'll just read to you a little bit what it says here. It says it's a gentle healer. Green, again, healing colour. Promotes a sense of well-being, peace and tranquility, emotional balancing, abundance, prosperity, and it attracts luck. And here's one little usage for green aventurine. You can get yourself a little piece of green aventurine. There's an old tradition with that stone where people who have shops and they have a cash register will keep a little piece of green aventurine in the cash register because it attracts luck and it attracts abundance to them. So you might want to try that with your purse. Just keep a little piece of green aventurine in there, see what happens. It can be quite interesting. Now the next stone that I'm going to go to is another green stone, but this is very, very dark, as you will see. And this one is very hard to show up on the camera. But this is bloodstone. Now bloodstone, as you can see, it's a very, very dark green. But there's an interesting thing with bloodstone which I don't think you're going to be able to see, actually. It's going to be very hard to show you. But when you've got a piece of bloodstone, which you may have already, you will notice that the reason it has its name is because it has these little flecks of red running through it. Okay? Now, the folklore behind that is that these little pieces of red were spots of the blood of Christ, and that's where it gets its name from. So it is a fantastic sort of stone for earthiness and for grounding, I tend to find. And I'll just go through a little bit of the sort of blurb about it so you can understand what's going on. I've got some thunderclaps on the music, so apologies for that. It's an amulet Again, because stones can be worn. I do this all the time. I wear stones. I'm sure you probably do as well. Stones can be worn as protection and as amulets. It says it's an excellent amulet to guard against disease. It's therapeutic. It helps to sweep away blocks and helps you to move forward. It strengthens the heart. Again, it's got that green heart chakra colour. It's great for energy and vitality. It's got red in it as well, and red is an energizing colour. It's a good stone for prosperity, for victory, for longevity and power, and it helps you to release emotional stress. So if you sort of like use it like a bit like a worry stone, kind of what I'm doing here, which is just kind of, you know, running it round my hands like this. It's quite a useful little stone from that point of view as well as a little sort of worry stone for you. Now, moving on, the next stone that I'm going to show you here is calcite. Now, this, as you can see, is a different shape. This is actually a honey calcite wand. Calcite is a funny stone because it does come in a number of different colours, and if you look on various parts of the internet, you will see the colours called by lots of different names. You've got, and for the same colour, but generally speaking, you have white calcite, you have a sort of a yellowish coloured calcite, which is sometimes called honey calcite, and you have an orange calcite. And I think there is actually a blue calcite as well. I'm pretty sure there's actually a blue version, and there's green. You know, so it does. It's one of those stones. It does come in a number of different colours, and the green one, of course, is a health and a healing and a prosperity stone. Again, it's got those qualities of the green. The honey is a good stone for manifesting abundance and for self-confidence and willpower. Okay, and the orange, which is a really dark colour, is a passion and a motivation stone. So calcite is definitely a good stone to have around. Now, the next one really does get into the sort of passionate realms, and I wonder if you recognise what this is. There we go. This is carnelian, which is, I believe, the birthstone for September. And carnelian is connected to the sacral or sacral chakra. So it's a real good stone for that sort of fire in your belly and kind of passion. I'm just running through again its little thing. It's a great stone to overcome shyness and to help you to sort of socialize more. Now, having seen your videos, I know for a fact shyness isn't going to be an issue, but it may be that you're doing work for somebody who is painfully shy. So carnelian might well be a good stone to use in that sort of environment. It's a motivating stone, basically. It restores your ambition, your direction in life. It's a good protection stone. It's great for courage. As I say, it's a passion stone. It's connected to the chakra associated with the passionate centers of the body, and it's a great stone for sensuality as well. Now, by contrast, the next stone that we have, which is one of my favorites, I have to say, is blue chalcedony. Now, there's lots of ways of pronouncing this. I'm not entirely sure what the correct way is, but it's, some people say chalcedony, some say chalcedony, some say chalcedony. It's I'll just get the spelling for you. It is Chalcedony. So I'm going to say chalcedony, and this one is blue, as you can see. It's sort of greyish blue here. And you remember what I said about the colour therapy before? bluish stones are calming stones. They're great for calming you down. And in this case, what we've got is a balancing stone. It balances the energies of the body, the mind, the emotions, and the spirit. It symbolizes benevolence. It's a goodwill stone. It's very soothing, and it's a very nurturing stone. Again, it's just a really calming energy that you've got with blue chalcedony. So that's another great one. Then we get one of my all-time favourite stones, which is citrine. Now, citrine is another member of the quartz family. It's very closely related to amethyst, and in actual fact, you do sometimes see a thing called ametrine, which is like, it's basically where you've got sort of amethyst and you've got citrine, and they kind of fuse together. So when you look at ametrine, you'll see that it's got that purple of the amethyst, but it's also got this golden colour that you've got in citrine. And citrine, you can get it in a very light sort of golden yellow, and some of the pieces go really, really dark. So they go almost down to a sort of butterscotch kind of brown colour. I have a little nickname for this, which I heard many, many years ago, which is cuddle quartz. And it is a really good self-confidence stone. It's a great one for helping you to manifest your goals, for cheerfulness. I mean, you know, you look at that colour, and how could you not be cheerful seeing a colour like that? Very good for sunny disposition. It's another abundance attracting stone, which is worth remembering. It's a good stone for personal power. It stimulates the body to heal itself and use its own healing energies. It's great for self-esteem, which is, I have to say, one of the reasons I use it sometimes. And also, it's a good centering stone. So citrine is a great one to have around. Then, this next one I'm going to move on to is a thing called fluorite. And I'll just check that we can see this on the camera here. There we go. Now, fluorite, it really is very transparent. It's like sort of clear quartz in that respect. And actually, very, very easy. If you got this in a clear colour, it would be so easy to mistake it for quartz. Now, fluorite is interesting because you get, in a sense, kind of three types of fluorite. You've got the green colour, which I have here. You have a sort of a pinky purple fluorite, which, as you can see if I hold the two up, is a very, very different colour. It is. This one is kind of purple. And there's a thing called rainbow fluorite. And rainbow fluorite has, as you might expect, all sorts of different colours going through it. So it's a really interesting stone. And this one is a mental focus stone. It helps with concentration. It disperses mental tension. It gives you clarity. It's a good meditation stone, and it's a great one for clearing the mind of worry. So it's a good worry stone, is fluorite. Now the next one, I know we're going to have difficulty seeing on the camera, but here it is anyway. Now this, believe it or not, it looks just black there, because this piece is very, very dark. But this is garnet, and you might have rings of garnet, because it's a very, very common stone in jewellery. And when you see it in a ring form, it's a really dark red. It is possible to see the red in this, but you have to sort of hold it with the light behind it. It's a real nightmare. But nonetheless, it is garnet. Now, garnet is a success stone. It's a passion stone. It's got that really deep ruby red almost. In fact, actually, it's probably even darker than ruby. It's a great stone for renewing love and to help you express your emotions. It removes fears and insecurities. It promotes success. It's an energizer. It helps with leadership abilities, um, and it adds a sort of inner strength. And apparently, it's January's birthstone. Now, again, if you think, you go with the leadership qualities, and what you've got with garnet is a stone that was used in royal jewellery, among others. So it's a really, really interesting stone to have. Now, the next one that we have is hematite, and this one here is as kind of a silvery stone, and it's a stone of optimism as much as anything else. It's an iron oxide apparently, and what you find with hematite is that it is magnetic, so it's a really useful stone for grounding, stabilizing, having a positive outlook on life, willpower and courage. It helps you to resist stress, and because it's magnetic, it sort of draws power towards you. So it's quite useful from that point of view. Now, the next one that we have, and we have a lot of stones to get through, so what I think I'm probably going to do is record part 1 as being the stones themselves, and then maybe look at part 2 as being sort of how you might want to use them, so do a little sort of add-on, because that'll be fairly quick. But the stones themselves is part 1. This time what we've got, and I've got 2 pieces here, is howlite. Now you can see that the one on this side here is white, and this one here is a kind of blue. This is called turquoise howlite, and it is very much the same colour as turquoise itself, but they have slightly different uses. But the general thing with howlite is it's a calming stone. Helps you to relax, is good for stress, helps you to sleep, and it really gets rid of sort of nervous energy. It's a very gentle stone. Obviously you've got the white form, the pure form. You've got the turquoise blue form, which would be good from a communication point of view as well. Then the next one I'm going to go with is jasper. And then what I've got here in actual fact is a red jasper disc. I'm just going to try to get on the camera. There we go. As you can see, it's a very earthy colour is jasper. And what we have with this one is a physical healing stone. It's good for balancing, it's good for centering, stimulates energy movement. It's connected to the root chakra, this one. It's a good stamina stone. As I say, it's got very earthy energy to it. It's a very protective stone. It's good for emotional stress, and it is found in a lot of different shades. You've got red, you've got green, you've got brown, and you've got yellow. This particular one that I've got here is red. Okay? Then the next one that I'm going to go with is labradorite, and that's a bit of a mouthful, it has to be said. Now the thing with this stone, I'm just going to check this on the camera again, the thing with this stone is that it has this really interesting kind of iridescence to it, which again isn't showing up terribly well on the camera, unfortunately. But this is quite a rough one here. But you can just see little tiny flashes of it there. And what you've got with labradorite is this is another psychic stone. This is another stone to enhance your abilities, your connection to your higher self and your spirit guides. It's a good stone for inspiration and for personal and spiritual growth. It deepens meditation and it brings clarity and insight. So it's a very, very interesting stone to use. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause there because we've gone through quite a lot of stones. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We've gone through 17 different stones at that point. So I'm going to pause there and I'm going to come back in a moment, finish off with the other stones for you, and then look at ways in which you can use them. Okay? So I'll see you in a moment for part 2.